So I'm covering another Reddit thread, and today we're covering this Reddit thread. So Gohan versus God of War Poseidon, or God of War 3 game Poseidon, to be more specific, and this version of Gohan from the Dragon Ball Super anime. Well, that's honestly wank, but there's more evidence to support that than to support anything in God of War being that high. He only flooded Greece and he had to die. And he didn't even flood Greece fully because at the end of the game, Kratos gave hope to the remaining people of Greece. So there was still people of Greece left. He didn't flood all of Greece. He flooded like 90%. How is it yapping? He gave an actual like argument. I mean, that's just a stupid argument because he actually scales to people who did destroy things at a larger scale, where nobody in God of War ever destroyed anything at a high scale. I mean, it's just assumed to be strong because it's based on common tropes, nothing more, nothing less. So it's quite a different context. The war isn't canon, it never was. If you're gonna use ancient myths for God of War, then you should use it for Record of Ragnarok, Percy Jackson, Disney Hercules, the Hades game, the Hades 2 game, the Blood of Zeus cartoon, the Shin Megami Tensei games, the Saint Seiya anime, and a couple other things. I mean, there's a lot of series that adapt the Greek myth. So I mean, you really have to say like a lot of fiction is as strong as God of War just because it has the war or the myth in it. No, you're the one who's wanking. You're wanking God of War. So don't kid yourself. Yep, that's a pretty stupid argument. Fair point. He can't like these gods can't even like handle catapults. How are they immeasurable speed? No, he's very consistent with what the actual game says. The only thing is that Bruno is consistent with what the game says almost on a constant basis, which just upsets God of War fans because the things that Bruno says, which are consistent with the game, contradicts the mythological version, which is the ones that God of War fans use. Because God of War fans don't discuss the God of War version, they discuss the mythological version, and Bruno is always answering about the God of War version of things. He is correct here. He is the animation director, so he has more involvement with how things are portrayed and visually displayed. So he is correct in that sense. Correct. He is factually correct here. I mean, nothing in God of War has exceeded First Form Frieza destroying Planet Vegeta. People are just assuming it does because it's based on a myth that does beat Frieza. Nothing more, nothing less. He's correct. However, people aren't using God of War when they talk about God of War beating things. They're talking about the mythological version, and they're using like God of War as like a name tag. It's not actually about the games or the series in general. Yes, I'm claiming God of War fans only discuss the mythological version of events and entirely ignore the game. That's untrue because we don't even have any instance of them fighting the primordials. It's just assumed because of myth. Like, if the myth didn't exist, God of War would have no. Like, if God of War was made the exact same way as it was, and it was like the first version of Greek gods, there would be no reason to presume them as strong because nothing in the game suggests they are strong, nor nothing in the series does, at least at the scope that the fans suggest. It's mainly just assumed as being strong because of factors outside of the game. Factors that are from a myth, created thousands of years before any God of War game. The God of War is solely seen as strong because of non God of War related evidence made thousands of years before any God of War game was ever even thought up. Owned, yeah. Entirely owned. The idea that worshippers play an effect is just stupid because the world was nearly destroyed via Poseidon's flood, and Zeus was still the strongest by far. Also, the primordials existed before humans did, logically. That wasn't even his argument. That wasn't even what he said. No, they don't give citations from the game. Versus Battle Wiki's God of War page is entirely mythological in its nature. The God of War part of the Versus Battle Wikis page plays no effect. Most of the information on the God of War versus Battle Wiki page is not related to Santa Monica's God of War series, but rather from mythological evidence created thousands of years prior. The modern day video games play no effect in how God of War is scaled. The God of War video games are only scaled via ancient myth and nothing more. Nothing in the God of War video games is why people think God of War is strong. In fact, every evidence in the God of War video games contradicts why people think they're strong. And anyways, I guess this is the Reddit thread here, so. Like, there's literally a part, I just want to, like, note this quick. They don't actually select evidence from the game. Their Hercules profile literally uses a page that says from the original myth in regards to the Atlas thing, where Hercules takes the place of Atlas. God of War scaling has nothing to do with God of War video games or PlayStation. It has to do with ignoring that and using ancient myth, because God of War fans will never discuss God of War.